Right, right. Okay. So, all right. So I want to welcome you to this information session. My name's Amy Shapiro. I'm the Business Development Director with the Franklin County Community Development Corporation. We're an organization that's been around for over 40 years, helping businesses start, stabilize, and grow. Um, our oldest program is our loan program, where we help people business owners get finance for their businesses, whether they need all of the financing or just gap financing, whereas they'll get lending money from a lender. We also have an incubator. We're home to the Western Mass Food Processing Center, which is a shared use commercial kitchen where farmers and people who want to develop value added food products come from all over Western Mass, actually our state, to make product and sell it into schools and grocery stores, farmers markets, etc. Um, I have been there for many years and have, because of our engagement with different cities and towns around the region, we're well positioned to be administering this program. And we've been working with the city of North Adams for a little bit. Michael, I'll let Mike talk about that. We're implementing this program for the city of North Adams. We're also implementing it for Franklin County, for 23 towns in Franklin County for $600,000. We have peers around the state who are doing the same program. And so we're leveraging lots of great experience, and we're not in this alone. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike, and who has been our lead.
Hello, everybody. As Amy stated, this is
Here in
funding to be provided for the city's first ever, what we're calling the North Adams Microenterprise Fund. We've been working diligently behind the scenes since the latter part of March on this funding. It's taken quite a bit of time to go from the feds trying to figure out how the money was going to come down from the feds to the state to the local municipalities, figuring out what application process, et cetera, and now we have successfully been funded a total pool of $108,000 in which to lend to what our projected total of 13 businesses are going to be. Again, this is the first time ever the city has gotten into microenterprise funding from the CDBG CARES Act. And Amy's organization, the Franklin County Community Development Corporation, is our subgrantee. Given their 40 years experience in this field, it made no sense to try to do this program in-house, and therefore we are under contract with them to do this. It is our goal to do 13 loans. Maybe we end up doing 15, maybe we end up doing 8 or 10. We'll just have to see how it unrolls going forward. So we're excited about this effort. The money has been secured, and we're going to learn a lot of things as we go along, as I'm sure. And I'll leave it at that.
That's great. This is, like Mike said, we've been working on this for a long time, and it's great that this program is finally launched. It was designed by HUD and DHCD, federal and state agencies. We're basically delivering and following the rules that we're under. So there's not a lot of flexibility here. It's really just implementing the program design. And so as I describe this program, some of you might shake your heads and go, well, this is kind of quirky and interesting. We're just the deliverer and the implementer of this program that we're inheriting. I want to introduce Michaela, who is the boots on the ground in North Adams, and will be part of this project to help answer questions, collect information, connect with us, and help this program run smoothly. Do you want any Michaela, we'll get you later.
Hello, and
So,
don't be afraid to email me.
right. What's your email? Put it in the chat what your email is. The best way to reach you. Okay. How I'm gonna just jump into this project. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to ask. If it's a bigger question for wider businesses, if it's really specific for you, we can answer it at the end. We'll have time for questions and comments. This project, as Mike said, is CARES money, and basically it's taxpayers' money. And because of that, it's designed also to serve people who are of low and moderate income, which is why it's designed, it was set up a certain way. Actually, you know what? I think the best way, I got to start sharing. I'm going to share my screen. Hold on. Which I can't find here. Oh, duh, screen. Okay. So let me know when you can see my screen. Yes? Okay, good. I'm operating on two screens here. So this is our website, and I put the link in the chat. This will take you to a site that has some general information about the program. If you scroll down, you see 3 different tabs for the several different programs that we're managing. The Franklin County Regional is the 23 town program I told you about. If you click on the North Adams Microenterprise Stimulus Program, that will have the information about the program in our information session. So here, this is what you're most concerned about, which is where do I get information about this program and how does it run? My contact information is here also. And you know what, Michaela, I'll add yours. We should have your information here too. We'd like you to start with the FAQ, which is the frequently asked questions. And because I have slow broadband, it might take a minute or a few seconds. So here, this is where we have tried to give you a lot of information about what this is, how it runs, what the deadlines are, what step 1, 2, and 3 is. I'm going to go through all of this, what the verification process is. And you can see there's a lot of information here. It really refers to a lot of the questions that are being asked. And I encourage you to just read through this. It addresses a lot of the questions that you might have. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I'm going to be talking about it, but basically step 1 is to read the FAQ. Step 2 is to fill out these important forms first, which is the family income worksheet, and I'll go through that. The profit and loss, we want you to collect a profit and loss for your business that compares 2019 and 2020 together. By having this profit and loss comparison, you will be able to see what your income and expenses were in 2019 and what they were in 2020 to see what the difference is. And that will help document the loss from the COVID pandemic. Part of the requirement is to identify your loss. And so there are many different ways that different industry sectors could do that. And we wanted to try to find some uniform way of deciding how to document your loss, because DHCD and HUD are saying you have to document the loss from the pandemic, and comparing your profit and loss from 2 periods of time is probably the most reasonable way to do it. Another form is the proposed use of funds worksheet, which is if you able to receive, oh, let me backtrack. If you document your loss that says you've got the difference is $5,000, then that just means that you would have a $5,000 opportunity for these grant funds. If your loss is $3,000, you have a $3,000 ability to borrow for these funds. If you had a $20,000 loss from the previous year, then you could apply for the $10,000 total loss. That's the maximum amount is $10,000. So again, that's why these forms are really important, is so that you can document your loss, and then we will be able to identify how much you're able to apply for. And then there is a PDF of this application on the website on our link, and which you can look at now and prepare how you want to answer some of these questions. The project goes live at noon tomorrow. So at noon tomorrow on the 15th is when you can actually start filling in that application. And then I'll go through the application in a minute. So the first thing we want you to do is the FAQ. The second thing is to go to the family income form, and I'm going to that form right now. And Mike, you want to help me explain this?
Sure.
Okay. You want to start or you want to finish?
I'll chime in when you request me to chime in.
Okay, so here's a form that asks for you to put your owner's name, the name of your business at the top, the family size, how many family live in your household that are on your taxes that you live with. The family size will determine the income eligibility that fall within your frame to make you eligible. So for example, if you have 4 people in your family household, your adjusted gross income needs to be $68,300 or less. If you're 2 people in a family, your income would need to be $54,650 or less. And for a single person, it's $47,850 for a year. And so there are 2 ways of figuring out whether you are eligible. The first and easiest way is to use your 2019 federal adjusted gross income, which is found on line 8B of your federal income tax form. So go to that and go to line 8B. And then as you look at your taxes, you're looking at your family member. In this first column, you'll put all the names of the people in your household. If you have children, please put their age. Again, we need to have the ages of the children in the household. The source of income, it would be your 2019 federal income tax. And then following it over, you would then put in on this line what you see on line 8B. And then coming down to line 1, you would put that number, because we're not using child support or alimony or anything for this purpose. You would enter line 8B in this line 1, the family size, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4 people there, then you would enter up here what the number is for that corresponds with your household size. And if your income is equal to or lower than that income threshold, you would say yes or no. If it's yes, great, you're eligible. You can continue on with the other forms. If it's no, it means that we need to see if you're eligible using the last 8 weeks of income. Many business owners were over income regularly last year, but because of the pandemic, their income is much, much lower. And so they're eligible if we can capture their income for the last 8 weeks from the time of application. So if you're applying today, go back 8 weeks and calculate the income that you received. If it was from unemployment, count the weekly unemployment. We're not including, not we, HUD and DHCD is not including the extra PUA money that you received, like the 600 or the stimulus check. We're not including that as income. It's just the weekly unemployment. If you are getting wages from your business or your spouse is getting wages, that would be considered family income. So here you would list the members of your family, and the income source would be either the unemployment that you're receiving or wages from your business. It would be spouse's wages. Right. Mike, would there be anything else that would be needed for income sources under the 8 weeks?
Well, the thing with the 8 weeks is it's got to capture the true 8-week period. So, if someone works a part-time job, even those wages have to be calculated as well. And the most important thing on family household size relative to the ages, if mom and dad have someone that's at home that's 18 or older that didn't go to college or has graduated from high school and they're not a full-time student, then their gross income from where they work has to be calculated into that total household income. If they're 18 or older and they're a full-time student, it does not have to be counted. However, proof of that person's carrying 12 credit hours of schoolwork is needed to document that they're a full-time student. So you got to be careful that, and especially it's a federal regulation, the CDBG requirements are crystal clear. Total household income cannot exceed whatever the household size is for said family. And if you're, again, as Amy said, if you're not using the tax return, you try to take a snapshot of the last 8 weeks and you annualize that.
Right. And the way that you analyze that is basically you add up your total income for 8 weeks, divide by 8, so you get what the average weekly is, and then multiply by 52 weeks. Then you've got your year number, and then you would put that in line 1. No, you would put that in line 3. Put your family size in line 4. Threshold, income threshold in from the chart in line 5, and see if you're over or under. And that would be a yes or a no in line 6. So if it's a yes, great, you get to go forward. If it's a no, it doesn't work. But again, this is, what we're having 2-week rounds. So all the applications that are complete in round 1 get evaluated. Then if there's money left over, we go to a round 2. And if your income changes in a few weeks and you might be eligible, then you could apply in round 2 and go from there. It's a quirky thing, I know, but it is what it is right now. Okay. Again, if you're stuck on this, please reach out to me and we can go through this. But this is really step 1 for eligibility. This is definitely step 1. All right, I'm going to go back to the website, And the next thing is the profit and loss worksheet. If you don't have QuickBooks or a software program where you can generate a report, we have something for you. You can take income, it's really year to date, but if you want, you could take your income and expenses from your, from your taxes from the previous year and incorporate here. And also you've got a column for 2020. And the idea is that we want to see the difference in what the loss is due to the pandemic. So you can fill that out. It's fine to do it on this form or on your own. Please make sure you put your business name at the top. The next form is the proposed use of funds. And this, again, put your business name at the top. And there's different, it's a drop down of different kind of uses. Staffing for employees or benefits, for equipment, inventory, materials or supplies, rent, utilities, any kind of COVID supplies, technical assistance if you need to hire a CPA or a bookkeeper or a web designer, different kinds of services for different businesses, working capital, or just some other general expenses. You would list your expense category, describe the expense. If it's an expense that you're paying for since March 10th, 2020 to today, that's a current expense. Or if you're looking for expenses for the next 3 months. So we want to get an idea of if, say you get $10,000, how are you splitting it up? Previous or just going forward 3 months? This money, it will subtotal and then it'll total basically what the total request is. These funds cannot be used for major equipment purchases, for purchases of real property, construction activities, anything that you would have to hire a contractor for is not eligible, because then we'd have to use prevailing wage. A business expansion or for lobbying, these are federal funds. So again, it's really, I'm happy to discuss with you if you have any concerns about how these funds would be used, if it's eligible or not. Again, here's a form where, you can give it to us in the other forms, but we just made one available for you to make it easy. So here the online application, it will be live at noon tomorrow. And here is a preview of the online application. I just realized something. All right, hold on a sec. Hold on a second. I'm going to stop sharing. Are there any questions right now? Yikes. No questions? Hold on, I just want to find something. Bummer. Hold on. Yay. Sorry about that. Oh, I know. Hold on. Hold on. I know. I got it. I'll be with you in a second. I'm just going to instead of giving you the, I want to give you the actual, show you what the actual link is. I was, here it is. Okay. All right, I'm going to share my screen again. All right. Can you see it? You got it? Michaela, can you see it? Yeah, okay. So here's the actual application that you'll see when you click on the link. It's got an overview. It tells you what forms you need to fill out before, because you're going to need this information from the forms that you've already filled out. We have the business contact information. This program is only eligible for businesses officially located in the city of North Adams. If you live in a different town, that's okay, but your business needs to be registered in the city of North Adams. We need your contact information. We need your homeowner's address, because eligibility will also, we have to make sure that your household income form syncs with the town that you live in. But pretty much those numbers on that spreadsheet, on the income threshold, is for everybody in Berkshire County. So if you live outside of Berkshire County, we just have to do a little thing differently. But again, here's your homeowner's information, and please check what's your preferred contact information, because if there's a quirky thing on the application, I want to be able to reach you and get clarification. Here, the basic minimum eligibility, there's a bunch of a variety of things that make somebody eligible and can bounce somebody out. So for example, you need to have 5 or fewer employees on the date of application, which includes part-time and full-time and the owners. So even if an owner is not getting paid, they're still considered an employee. And so you need to, prove that you have 5 or fewer employees. If your how your business is structured, nonprofits are not eligible. Pretty much all the other entities are. If you're 5 or fewer employees, and that 5 or fewer employees is people, not full-time equivalent. It's bodies. So again, not-for-profits are not included. Another factor is that your business needs to be in operation prior to January 1st, 2019. This is for established businesses only. Does your business provide goods and services to multiple clients or customers? This speaks to, if you're in business, you've got a wide variety of customers that you're serving. It's to eliminate funding for hobbyists. There's other resources that might be available to businesses who don't qualify in these categories. And again, if you don't qualify, reach out to me and we'll see if there are other programs that are available. One thing about, working with us, the Franklin County CDC, is that we have access to other resources, and we're also aware of other programs that are coming from the state and feds. So, we'll post them on the Business Connector, and we hope that everybody is receiving the Business Connector on the Chamber of Commerce site, because we try to keep that updated. But again, this particular program is not meant for everybody. It's meant for people who qualify under these guidelines. The next one is your business current with all state municipal taxes through March 1st, or have a workout plan? Say you're behind in your state taxes. If you have a workout plan, that's fine. If you are behind and you don't, that could be a problem. If you're behind on your North Adams taxes, they would have to be paid in full before you could proceed. Or if you had a workout plan with the city, that would be fine. The part that does need to be paid up in time, paid up currently, is your business certificate. I'm not sure how many years it goes. I'm not sure if Mike. Your business certificate doesn't have to be paid up every year. I believe it's how many? 4, Mikhail? 4 years. So, every 4 years you have to pay that in full. You would definitely need to have that paid in full before to be eligible. We will be checking with the city to confirm that you're paid up. Doesn't have to be at time of application, but it needs to be done, part of our review and our review process. Is your business current with all required licenses and registrations at the state and municipal level? That's that. I just talked about that one. Is your business party to litigation involving the state or municipality? If you're in litigation, obviously you're not eligible. Is your business registered with a city or town in which it's located? I just spoke about that. Again, it's really important that you have a business certificate current. Are the business owners over the age of 18? That's a requirement for anybody owning 20% or more in the business. Check which industry sector you fall under. Again, here it's important for us to understand what your industry is, and it also shows you that the non-eligible industries are cannabis related, weapons and firearms, real estate sales, rentals, liquor store, lobbyists, chain stores. If your business falls in any of these categories, you're not eligible for this particular program. If you have business owners who own 20% or more of the business, this is where you would state who they are and what percentage of ownership they have. Each owner has to fill out that family income form that we talked about at the beginning. And you would check off whether their income qualifies them based on 2019 taxes or the last 8 weeks of income. If you have two business owners and one owner qualifies under the taxes and the other one qualifies under the last 8 weeks, that's fine. If one qualifies for income tax under the 29 income taxes and the other one is over income using both methods, you don't qualify. Both owners have to be qualified to proceed. It's just the way it is. We're just the deliverers. Demographic information is very important. We have to report on this weekly. DHCD wants to know who's applying, who's getting awarded, who's getting denied. So these questions are mandatory. They're all the basic demographic information, which is pretty standard. Owner information, whether this is regards to you or your spouse or partner or anybody affiliated with the business. If you hold a position on a board or commission with the city of North Adams, if the owner doesn't hold, we need to know if you hold a position or if you don't hold a position on either on a board or the commission, or if a family member does or a relative. This helps us know who has a position or an affiliation with the city, and they would have to fill out a disclosure form so that we would make it public. We'd have to get it checked out with the city, let them know that there's could be that there's a conflict of interest or not. This is all self-disclosure and what position you're on. The business description. Okay, this is where it starts to get interesting. We need to, tell us what is happening in your business right now. Are you open full time? Open with limited hours? Did you have to lay employees off? Do you have limited sales, no sales, considering closing, or some other? In this box, there's unlimited space for you to tell us about the impact on your business, about jobs, sales, inventory, your supply chain challenges, general operations, PPE, protocols you use, technical issues, new regulations and how they're impacting your business. If you're under a mandatory shutdown, look at the frequently asked questions for more details. Again, this is important for you to tell us what's happening in your business. We don't know your business. And so the information you provide is useful to state your case. Using the profit and loss form that you filled out, you've estimated what your loss has been. This is where you would check off in the circles at what level it is, and in the box put in what number amount, the value, the dollar value of your loss. In the next area, we are asking, if you're awarded this forgivable loan, how will these funds be used? Check all that apply. These are the bigger categories that you used in the proposed expense form. And again, we also, include what's not eligible. And we also, this is where you would check off, that you're using it for the, from March 10th to today, or looking ahead the next 3 months, or a mix. Do you have a loss of income equal to or greater than the requested amount? Yes or no? And now we get into this, the narrative where there's an ask for you to share more information about a few things. Now, again, this is community development block grant money, and the goal of this taxpayer money is to develop viable communities by providing decent housing and suitable living environments, and by expanding economic opportunities, principally for people with low and moderate income. So the CARES Act is specifically for adverse impacts due to the pandemic. So these questions speak to basically what I just read. The first question is, how, if at all, does your business support the basic needs of food, water, clothing, shelter, transportation, sanitation, education, and healthcare of residents who are of low and moderate income? Tell us what services or programs or products that you provide that help the community. The next question, what makes your business unique and special in the local community, neighborhood, town, region? And again, the frequently asked questions has some prompts to help you describe and understand what we're looking for. The next question is, describe any business changes or improvements. Are you adding products or services? Are you developing new strategies or tactics that you plan to implement using the funds from this program? And the next question is, how did you determine that these expenses are reasonable for the program? This is, so basically this is saying, you're, of the 10,000 you're applying for, how did you decide these funds were the way you wanted to spend the money? If you need it for 3 months of back rent, that's obvious. Are you planning a trip to the, Bahamas? You'd have to justify why that would be reasonable. Again, it's really, this money is really meant to help a business owner get through a very difficult time from expenses they've incurred previously, or expenses that are coming up, or that they're trying to pivot their business in a new way to help them sustain the next couple months. This is not to solve major problems. This fund is really to help you fix and get through this difficult time as you figure out how you're going to sustain yourself in going through the months ahead. The last question is, how will this assistance stabilize your business to prepare, prevent, respond to COVID-19? What will this assistance, how will this assistance help your business? What will this help you? I'm getting tangled. What will this assist help your business accomplish? So again, we're looking at what's your impact in the community? What makes you look unique and different? How are these expenses reasonable? How are these going to support your business through the next 6 months or so. This last question is really, did you apply and receive PPP or EIDL or unemployment or any other funds? We need to report to DHCD and HUD that you have not commingled any of your expenses, that for rent that say you want to pay these funds to pay for rent for September and October, but yet you got PPP money that you want to use for rent. You need to document for us that you're not using this money for the same months of rent that you're using the PPP for. And we'll be asking for a report on the PPP expenses to verify. Again, we need to tell DHCD that these funds are not commingled, and you'll have to fill out a bunch of forms that self-certifies that you have that all this information is true and accurate. And there's no duplication of funds. So here's a few certifications that says everything in this application is accurate and you stand by it. And we have some other forms that will need to be done should you be awarded. The most important part of and then here's a space for you to put some comments and to sign your name and date it, and that you're not a robot. But the most important part of this, and we don't want you to forget, is to press the submit button. We cannot receive this application if you have not pressed that submit button. Once you do, you will receive an immediate response that we received your application, plus a list of documents that you need to supply in order for your application to be complete. Your application is not complete until we receive, I'm going to go back up to the top, your family income worksheet, your profit and loss for 2019 and 2020, your proposed uses of funds form, and your 2019 personal and business federal tax and all the schedules. So there are 4 things, and you'll see that in your email. So it's your taxes and these 3 forms. And if you have different ways of getting those forms to us, you can mail them, you can drop them off at City Hall, the City of North Adams City Hall, or you can request a secure link, and I will email you a secure link that you can upload them to, and they'll go into your file. If you'd like to drop it off at the city, Mike, what is the best way for them to do that?
Well, you can call the office and we can make arrangements to meet a person outside to have it handed off to us. And alternatively to that, we have a drop box at the south and north entry doors. It's like a small mailbox. It's secure. And that's checked like 2 times in the morning and 2 times in the afternoon. But I would prefer if someone wants to give me an email or a call, we're more than happy to go out and pick it up in the parking lot.
And Mike, I'll put that in the FAQs. What is the best number that they should be calling ahead?
The best number would be 662-3025, extension 3.
Okay, and that's you? Is that you?
That's the departmental number.
Okay, that's the community development number.
Correct.
Department of Community
General office
Development.
number.
Okay. And what I would encourage people to do is, on a big envelope, put all your documents in that, seal it, and on the front of it, put North Adams, what's our fancy acronym here? North Adams, NAMSF, right? North Adams Microenterprise Stimulus Fund application. And basically, that packet will be secure and we'll get it in a timely way. Right. And so I also want to just say that I want to refer back to the process now. So how this works is from noon tomorrow to November 2nd we'll be collecting all these applications. People will be sending in their other documents. As of November 2nd, whatever applications are complete, that will be considered the ones available in round one to be reviewed. If your application is not complete, it will go into the next round. And if by the next 2 weeks after that, if it's not complete, if it is complete, it'll be reviewed in round two. The way the evaluation process is, I'll be reviewing for eligibility, and we have a team of reviewers at the Franklin County CDC who will be scoring all the eligible applications against a score. We have this matrix, and once the team has reviewed, we'll have the ones who score the top will be the first of the awardees. And so that group will be receiving an email that says that they've been recommended for a conditional award for a forgivable loan. We'll need more documentation to verify that all of the information is accurate. And once say you received this conditional award letter, you would have like 5 or 6 more things that you'd have to do. There are certifications that you would have to sign, which is basically, I'm gonna hold on a second, go back. It's all on the frequently asked questions. The verification stage, you would have, I'm going to share my screen again so you can see it. This is where you would sign a duplication of benefit certificate that basically says you're not double dipping from other funds. There's a state and local compliance certificate that says that you're up to date with state and local taxes. You would have to provide a payroll report if you have employees that documents that you have 5 or fewer employees. We would need copies of any state licenses or registrations, a copy of alternative sources of funding like PPP and the EIDL or any other money. A conflict of interest certificate. This is like if you're on a board of the city or a commission, we have to have, that just states that you are. And then if you are being qualified for eligibility for your 8 weeks of income, we would need all the documentation that backs up your unemployment, would be your weekly unemployment record. If you're receiving any other things that just backs up that income. Or bank statements that shows the income that's come in from your business into your account. And again, we'll walk you through all of this. Once we have all the documentation and once we have all your documentation and everything is in order, then we can do an official recommendation to the city that you are eligible, you meet all eligibility, that the cost reasonableness for this forgivable loan is for these reasons. And this is kind of what your COVID loss, that you've had a COVID loss, and that these funds will help you stabilize your business. You send that to the city. The city basically, Mike, what happens when you get the letter or recommendation? The city will sign, will agree and approve. And then once they approve, then the Franklin County CDC will write a check for that amount of your forgivable loan. It will be considered a loan. You'll sign a promissory note that basically says, if you don't spend this money the way you say you're going to on your proposed sheet form, and again, there's some wiggle room there. If things don't line up, you can shift it to another category. But basically, it's all the expenses are in the eligible eligible allotment for those purposes. Then in 3 months, you'll get a letter from us that says, okay, it's time to review. Here, send us your copy of your expenses, receipts, canceled checks, and prove that you have spent the funds the way you said you were going to spend the funds. And then once we review it and everything lines up, then we can convert that forgivable loan to a forgivable loan. And we'll send that with a letter that, crosses out that promissory note, and it becomes forgivable. Our hope is that we can get the funds for this out by December 31st. And you get to use it right away. So, okay, I guess one little detail is that for all the other businesses that that their applications kind of dwindle in, or that they got passed up from the first or second round, whatever money is available, if they're still eligible, they would, we'll be offering those they become part of the next round. So I guess I'm at a place where I'm available we can open it up to questions. So I know we got a couple people here. I'm not sure if you have any questions, but why don't you let me know what you're thinking about? Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
You're there.
Oh, good. All right. Anybody have any questions? Everything is pretty self-explanatory on the FAQs. I will add a couple of these questions that just came up. What do you think? Is it something that you'll apply for? I guess nobody's got any questions. Anything, Mike, you want to add, since this is being recorded and we'll have this available for other people?
No, nothing substantial that we haven't covered. We look forward to the official launch tomorrow, 12 o'clock. I know DHCD has very close eyes on this. Most times with CDBG funding, I do a quarterly report. For this particular effort, I have to do a weekly report. That's how much they have eyes on this. So.
Right. Good point. And again, they're aggregating all of these numbers throughout the state so they can see what the impact is and report on, how this is helping small businesses. This is really what this project, it's an amazing opportunity for a business owner who can document their loss, their income eligible, for them to get a forgivable loan for up to $10,000. And basically all of the income is going to be expense, so it's not going to hit. We hope that it's going to be helpful and serve you well, and that's what this is about. It's really an amazing opportunity, and I hope that if you have any questions or any concerns about your eligibility or how to answer these questions or whatever, don't hesitate to reach out to me. you can reach me at micro@fccdc.org or amy.s@fccdc.org. Or you've got Michaela's contact information in the chat. Again, if you need Michaela to pick up stuff or answer any questions, just reach out to us. 2 weeks is going to go by pretty fast, and it's not complicated. We don't want this to be complicated. We're trying to make this as easy as possible, considering what we're supposed to be administering. So that's what I know. Any other questions? So other than that, it's, almost 4 o'clock. I'm happy to hang out a little bit if somebody wants to, talk more specifically. I'm going to turn off the recording now. Stop.